Well, today's an interesting day.
Why is that?
Because it's Thursday.
Thursday.
This will be the last episode
Of
the 100s.
I know. 199.
We're rolling over to 200 tomorrow, folks. If you thought we were going to stop,
You're wrong.
you wrong. You wrong. So in honor of episode 199, we looked up the numerology.
We did.
We talked to our astrologer.
Yeah.
And it said for us
Our
to do
astrologer.
Yeah.
When did we pick one of those up?
Today, this morning.
Oh, okay.
And he said,
Oh, I was thinking it was Auntie Dion.
I was just going to misgender the, it's typically maybe a woman would be who you would assume would be in a palm reading type place.
Yes, indeed.
So I decided to make it a man in my story.
Okay, I
I'm
like
this
that.
fictional person.
That's fair.
And they told us to do National Lampoons versus
Monty Python.
Hey, we're going to get into it right after this.
I'm Misty.
And I'm Ike.
The next 15 minutes,
We're going to debate pop culture.
my background's in music.
My background's in film.
I know the topics beforehand.
And I don't.
We check the internet for the facts.
And ruin it with opinions.
From pop rocks in your lunchbox.
To Happy Meal toys and Swatch clocks. So,
So,
in this courtroom,
in this courtroom,
I will be National Lampoons.
and I will be Monty Python.
And I think it's going to be like every other verses that we do. And at the end, we're like, they're both great.
I think probably because they were both pretty great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this. And before we did this, you were like, who do you want to be? And I picked Monty Python because I don't know a lot about Monty Python. So I thought it would be fun for me to learn about the Pythons.
I, too, know very little about National Lampoons.
Yeah, like I know a little bit about it, like where it started and stuff. It's got a cool story. But I didn't know anything about Monty Python, so.
Well, let's compare.
Let's learn.
Origination dates.
Let's learn some stuff.
You know what? Just to get ready for all these cons we're about to go to.
Let's learn some stuff.
Why don't you tell us when Monty Python originated?
1969.
Okay.
1969. So Monty Python, which is collectively known as the Pythons.
Can I show him your screen?
You can. Here's a little photo of them guys.
Them there dudes? Oh, it's cut out. Oh.
Them there dudes.
Them there guys.
Those are the Pythons.
Wow.
So Monty Python's not actually a person. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
I thought Monty Python was a person. And it's a group. Basically, it's a comedy troupe. So, similar to the improv comedy stuff that we have, like Second City and
Misty and Ike.
Misty and Ike.
Yep.
In 1969, it was, I believe, called Monty Python's Flying Circus, and the BBC aired it.
Are they from England?
Yes, indeed they are. There's a lot of them that I don't know the names, but Eric Idle and Terry Gilliam, and of course John Cleese are the names out of this group that
Love those
I
guys.
do know.
Love those guys.
John Cleese is amazing.
Yep. His daughter's a comic.
Really? I did not know that. I mean, I'm not surprised now.
Right? Well, much like your origination story of 68, 69,
Yeah?
I've got National Lampoons. It's an American humor magazine which ran from 1970
Okay.
in the U.S. to 1998. It started off as a spinoff of the Harvard Lampoon. National Lampoon magazine reached its height of popularity and critical acclaim during the 1970s when it's a far-reaching effect on American humor and comedy. When it had, there's a word "had" in there that I forgot to read.
Right.
The magazines.
Magazines.
Hey, that's me on his miani. That's from Rounders.
I was like, you're just like the guy that eats the Oreos in Rounders.
The magazines.
John Turturro.
Yeah, no.
No.
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich, sorry.
Turturro's in that movie.
You're right.
He goes to borrow money from.
That's right.
You guys thought
Dang,
we were going to do
Rounders.
You guys thought we were going to do National Lampoons versus whatever it is. But it's about Rounders now.
It's about Rounder. That movie's so great.
It is such a good movie. I watched it before I even got into heavily into poker.
Yeah, I watched it when I was in right after college.
Yeah.
Right after the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Good Will Hunting days.
Yeah. I can't believe we just did a branch on the arm of Monty Python National
can't
Lampoons
either.
into Rounders, but
wow,
great movie. Check it out if you
Yeah.
ever want to get stuck
Yeah.
playing poker for the rest of your
Ed
life.
Norton back in his prime.
Oh man, get out of my face!
good.
Edward Norton is one of the finest actors
He's
of our time.
so phenomenal.
Oh, let's do an episode on Edward Norton. Let's
We
find out when his birthday
should.
is.
I'm gonna write that shit down.
Sick. While you do that, National Lampoons. So they were also a troupe and a funny troupe, but it was the American, I guess, kind of the American version. They might have been spawned on
Sounds
by
like it.
by your team, but
My team.
there is. I'm gonna look up. Here's the list of movies. I'm gonna scroll to me.
So many.
Yeah.
So many.
Well, not as many as you would think. Hold on, it's a different tab. Boop. Oh, and if you want to learn all about them, there is a Netflix documentary called A Futile and Stupid Gesture, and it's on Netflix, and you can check it out. It's about how the National Lampoon started, but I lost my list of films that they made, so I'm kicking it right back to you, Misty.
All right. Well, I'm curious when the first National Lampoon's movie was made, which you can tell me once you get that list.
Yeah.
Because
I can tell you it was made for TV. It wasn't a... Are you talking about cinema? Like the
I'm
first
talking
one?
about cinema.
Okay.
Yeah. So following the television work that the Monty Python crew did, they began making films. And so they did Monty Python and the Holy Grail in 1975. They did Life of Brian in 79 and Monty Python's The Meaning of Life in 1983.
Okay. Oh, here it is.
Their comedy career is considered to be in England as influential on comedy as the Beatles were on music.
Whoa.
Like that's how esteemed they are.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Here is a list of National Lampoon's movies. So they kicked it off. Their first movie was a made-for-TV flick, but their first theatrical release was Animal House.
Yeah. So, and it was just a couple years later then.
Yeah, in 78. And then,
so these guys were just like running concurrently, both camps of them.
yeah. Yeah, I think
Interesting.
they were probably friends.
I'm sure.
Somebody from
yeah.
my team knew somebody on your team.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Then and it took them 4 years, but they made two movies in 82, National Lampoon's Class Reunion, National Lampoon's Movie Madness, followed by everybody's favorite, National Lampoon's Vacation. And that just kicked off a tidal wave of
just
all kinds of stuff. That followed up 2 years later with European Vacation, and then 4 years later in 89, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Mm-hmm. And then I think there's a splinter company here.
Yeah, there's a couple.
J2 and National Lampoon.
Yeah.
They made all, if you're watching, guys, I'm just scrolling past
it's
these
insane.
thousands and thousands and thousands of movies. It's just very nuts.
So the Monty Python crew have very similar to the mullet episode we did where we talked about how they had entered mullet and attributed it to the Beastie Boys in the Oxford Dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
Python-esque is also another thing that has been entered into the Oxford Dictionary.
That's a real term?
describing a certain type of comedy.
Wow.
Python-esque.
That was very
Yeah.
Python-esque.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously their brand of humor, which, I mean, essentially it leans towards like just really, really absurd trends that are going on in the world, was, Saturday Night Live was an early adopter. And
Really?
a lot of the comedy skits in the early Saturday Night Live skits were in line with Python-esque humor. It's pretty cool, huh?
Side note.
Sidebar.
This is going to come out probably 3 weeks after the controversy.
Yes.
But SNL stole a skit last
Oh, I
week
read about it.
from some
yeah.
comics
and
here in
there's
LA.
receipts on it.
Yeah, they actually shot it. It's the
Yeah.
Salt Bay thing, and they fully shot it. I think it was Ari Manis. I'm not sure. And a couple other comics. It was in their pitch packet to be considered cast members of SNL. And SNL, like, it's been 2 or 3 years since that went out.
Yeah.
SNL shot it like shot for shot.
Yeah.
Straight up stole it.
I hate to say this, but SNL, it's not the first time that they've been accused of stealing skits from up and coming comics.
I believe it.
So,
But not to throw shade on anybody, just thought
Lord.
it's highly untopical now that it's been a month later. But
no, it's a thing though.
do you have the picture of the founding members of your peeps?
Right here.
Check it out. Check out how similar this is. This is my peeps,
Whoa.
and then this is your peeps. Isn't that like? I mean, they had color.
It's such a sign of the times.
Yeah, it's just like, look at us beatniks, just kind of hipstering around. We're funny dudes, and we're making a serious picture.
We're making, we're going to talk about absolutely ridiculous, absurd things and make fun of what's happening out in the world right now.
Yeah. I feel like some of our show is loosely based on the things that we got impressed by when we were kids, just talking about silly stuff.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's so much of this that I look back on, and after we do the episode of it, I think about how affected I was by it as a kid and how I'm very curious after all of our episodes how my perception changes of a certain topic.
Yeah, because
it's really interesting.
We learn stuff. We're like, I had no idea that
and sometimes it makes me love it more.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, that didn't age very well.
No.
Yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
I would like to tell you my favorite. I keep spacing on the name of your team.
My Monty Python.
Yes, I want to tell you my favorite Monty Python scene. Do you have a favorite National Lampoon scene? Switch teams for a second.
Okay, yeah.
So in the Holy Grail, they're about to. It's early on in the movie, and I don't think they could afford horses to film with horses.
Yes.
So they're like, on we go, or whatever. I mean, that movie opens up brilliantly with the guy going, bring out your dead, bring out your dead. I'm not dead yet. You will be soon.
Yes.
And then shortly later, they're like, all right, let's go. And everybody has coconuts. And they're like,
yep.
I did a pretty good horse.
You really did. I'm pretty impressed right now.
Yeah.
That was pretty great.
That's my favorite, like, corner. That's like dipping my toe in those waters for the first time.
All right.
What do you got?
My favorite from National Lampoon's Vacation is Aunt Edna.
Oh, okay.
Played by Imogene Coco. Mm-hmm. This fantastic little old lady. When Aunt Edna dies in that entire scene, they've been like... I mean, it starts, of course, with the dog dying, because then that ties into the Aunt Edna part of it.
Yeah, this is what she looks like.
Oh, she was so quirky and cute. Mm-hmm. Leave that picture with her hair all skew in the middle. I love that. This one? No, the one below it.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
She's just like comedy gold in that photo.
That's her later on, though, right?
Yeah.
So she plays the grandma, the aunt?
She's Aunt Edna. The one that dies.
And then they have to inherit the stuff? Am I thinking of the wrong movie? What am I thinking of?
Vacation is the one I'm talking about. They have to go to Coolidge, Kansas.
Yeah.
To visit Ellen's cousin, Catherine. And Catherine and Eddie make them take Aunt Edna with them. And she dies in the car. After Clark kills her dog by leaving it strapped to the back of the car and driving down the highway.
Things that you couldn't get away with now, dragging a dog down the road.
Right. So Aunt Edna dies in her sleep after he robs the convenience store. And they put her corpse on the roof of the car. They tie her like a Christmas tree to the top of the car. Because they don't want her in the car because she's dead.
Because she stinks.
I love it so much.
That's fun.
Oh, so good. Anyways. 2
amazing comedy troupes.
Yeah.
Spaced by the ocean, but brought together by comedy.
Completely. I know you said this at the beginning of the episode. Like, we'll probably get to the end and be like, they're both real great.
They are.
They really are both really great.
And I think we could probably do full episodes on both.
Definitely.
But we did half an episode on each.
Yeah, we really did. And it kind of makes me, I'm going to page to the end of my little thing here and see. I want to know if all of those guys have gotten back together since then.
I'm sure they have.
I'm sure that they have, and I'm sure that some of them maybe have passed away since then, too.
While you're scrolling, I'm going to plug this National Lampoon's Netflix.
I think you should.
One more time, starring my boy Will Forte. Worked with him at Fox on Last Man on Earth for 3 or 4 seasons, just on the promos, a couple days a year. But definitely check it out. If you want to know anything about the National Lampoons, that is the place to be.
And I have an answer.
Okay.
It's called One Down, Five to Go. The Pythons had their last live reunion of the remaining members of the Pythons because one of them did pass away. And it was in 2014, held at London's O2 Arena, one of my favorite places to be.
Yeah.
And
have you ever been on the tram over the water?
Yeah. Have you ever been in the secret room inside the O2?
I've never been into the O2. I've only seen it from the trolley tram.
They have a secret room, and it's real cool.
I'll have to see it when we play there.
Yeah. Tickets sold out in 43 seconds.
What?
Yeah. The set list included a mix of live performances of their most popular sketches, clips from their shows, and elaborate dance numbers. Each night featured a different celebrity victim of the blackmail sketch. And the final show was screened to 2,000 cinemas across the world.
Wow, like live streamed?
I think that they probably put it in a theater.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. 2014. They didn't have streaming back then.
No.
Well, there's definitely a lot more you can learn about both Monty Python and National Lampoon. So this won't be the last time you hear about them from us.
No.
But
cool.
This is the last time you'll ever hear us talking without a 2 in front of it.
It's true.
$1.99, folks.
$1.99.
Waiting on us to quit. You're holding your breath.
For the wrong reasons. Because we ain't going to stop.
And as long as it's $1.99,
we'll see you on Friday.
Hey, psst, Misty has one more fact for you.
In 2006, Ben & Jerry's, known for their celebrity flavors, introduced to the lineup Monty Python, a coffee liquor ice cream with a chocolate cookie crumb swirl and fudge cows. Still can't figure out why they didn't use the name Minty Python.
Minty Python. If you want to tie these 2 episodes together, you can go watch episode 170 about deep dive into Ben & Jerry's. And now that brings it full circle. And we're out.